Hi, Estes. We are here today with Jerri Hirst, and she's actually going to be one of our speakers for all of our 3 shows because, reminder, this year we do not have any conferences in our ICES Dallas show. So we're going to go ahead and just talk a little bit about several different topics today. We're just going to have a conversation and see where things take us. So let's go ahead and just get started.
Yeah, so I guess if you don't mind sharing like what your topic is going to be and why you felt like, because we do have our conference speakers pick their own topics because we want you guys to speak about something that you're passionate about. So like, why did you pick your topic specifically?
Okay, so it's the transition from esthetician to registered nurse, if you need to do that, or if you want to. So I get asked that a lot by a lot of estheticians, like, how do you transition that? What does that look like? What is the time involved? What's the expense? What are the prerequisites? Do I really need to do this?
Is it worth it?
Is it worth it? Because really, I mean, estheticians, that's how I started. And it's one of the girls that works in my office says, going to esthetician school is just your golden ticket to kind of do whatever you want in the beauty industry, whether it's lashing, whether it's facials, whether it's education. It's really makeup too, right?
Yeah.
So I thought maybe when we talked about what we should do with the show, I thought that might be interesting and people might want to know how to navigate that and if they even really should.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, let's say you have this idea in your head of like, I possibly want to become a nurse practitioner. Like, what doors can it open for me? You can come to her conference, and you might even leave being like, you know what, it's not for me.
Yeah, or let me give it a try.
Yeah,
Let me give it a try. Yeah, it's the steps to take. Really, I think Sam and we talked before about the importance of mentorship.
Yes,
And I know you've done some shadowing and
yeah.
followed people, and there's nothing more inspiring, and I still do that. I still never stop learning, and you learn from other people more than you learned from a course that you
Yeah,
go
because
to
more
with
now
your
than
people.
ever, the aesthetics industry is changing. It's like never ending. Every day there's
never
something
ending.
new technologies, new protocols.
What do you think is like the most important education that an esthetician should have?
outside of what she chooses to do,
Yes.
because it's so open, right?
Yeah.
We have specializing in skin, specializing in acne, makeup. Makeup is really big right
Big.
now. Therapeutic part of the healing part of aesthetics. I think really what you need to do is you do need to find somebody that's good at their craft and just say, I need to follow you around. Can I spend the day with you? I really think that's your best bet before moving into spending a lot of money on advanced education.
Yes. And I think it's important to say, and I was actually gonna, we went to visit a brand yesterday, and I got to sit down and ask, she was doing a treatment. I got to ask her about the product she was using and how the treatment works and stuff. And I was like, this is something that people would pay thousands of dollars to do. I'm sure, because I know you have shadow days with estheticians, that's very valuable. And I'm sure you have a price to that too. So it's so amazing that you can buy a ticket to a 2-day show and then you have access to experts who are so knowledgeable, who have years of experience in the industry, and you get to actually sit down next to them while they're doing live demos and ask them questions. So don't miss out on the opportunity.
Yeah. And that's the thing that you guys have really, I'm impressed with, is you're really taking that transitional leap into giving a lot of education. Because the show is not super expensive to go to.
At all.
The value you get out of it is incredible.
Yeah.
Just walking around, I mean, would you call them vendors or
Yeah, our
vendors,
exhibitors, vendors.
vendors? They give really valuable resources in their classes. Really, you're going to take away from their experts, because they always have an expert that's teaching and educating on their product. So whether you take away their product home and buy into that concept or that product, you're going to get lots of tips. And then you guys are leaning into more of the advanced education and giving that away. And I love that. I'm really impressed with that. You shared that with me, and I thought, I really love that they're taking this step in the sleep, because you're going to pay for that outside of that on a separate day.
So
What they're going to get at the conference.
Yeah. So that's something that I wanted to kind of talk about, just pinpoint to back on like what it is that we're talking about with our education. A lot of people ask us questions of whether our conferences and our workshops are like, you have to pay for them, you have to sign up for them. On top of everything that you guys just both said, like with what you get with the hundreds of vendors that are going to be there, you don't have to. All you're doing is you're paying for that ticket, and you have access to all this education for free, which, piggybacking off of what Sam said earlier, you know, most of these exhibitors or estheticians who offer these classes, they're charging for it.
Yes.
And you're getting over, I'm going to throw a number, over 50 plus, conferences and workshops for free. So it's super important to come to that. And also don't forget that you can pre-register and purchase your ticket at a discounted rate right now up until April 17th. So don't miss out on that.
Don't miss out. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say? Because I know you've been an attendee.
Yes, many years.
Yeah. What is like your experience, and is every year different?
Every season is different. So it's funny when trends change. So like say 25 years ago, it was the leaping into the medical. Everything became sterile at the show, and everybody wanted to wear the white lab coat. And it was this whole thing that was changing. And then it moved into like organic products, where we kind of threw away that white robe. We wanted to get more back to the basics. And then it turned into lashing. So it's constant, like it was lash bomb.
Or like the
and
permanent,
now it's a brow bomb.
now it's like the permanent makeup, and we've had a lot of like evolution.
It is,
throughout the
but
industry.
that's what's good is
Yeah.
your forward-thinking trends and what's happening now, and that's what I've seen. It's always fun to go and to see, okay, what's coming at, what's going to be the big buzz, and you guys are on top of that. That's what the show's on top of, and really is what I think is estheticians are so private about what they do. They're very in their room, behind their door, very private. They give a lot of their emotion one-on-one to their clients and patients. And this really helps them with community.
Oh,
And you can
100%.
make the show what you want it to be. So you can go see a speaker. You can walk up and talk to me. You know, you can engage and get connections, phone numbers. That really, I never turn down a text message when somebody at esthetician reaches out to me and asks me a question. I will respond because I believe we need to have a strong community. And that's what this show gives, is it gives you a community, and the value behind it is incredible. It's the most reasonable thing you can do to advance your education, I think. It's a great stepping point for the girls that are new, and it's a great thing to do for people that have been doing it way too long, like me, because I never stop learning.
How many years have you been an esthetician?
87.
Oh, wow.
87, I think, or maybe it was 89. Could have been 89. And we were called cosmeticians.
Cosmeticians.
And it was mainly, you did facials, but they taught you, it was a way to get into the skin and makeup without taking all the hours as a hairdresser, right? The 1600. So that's what I did. And then I think, was it at 96 it became esthetician, or maybe it was earlier than that?
I don't know. I wasn't born.
Oh, gosh, here we go.
I was born in 96.
I was born in 98, so I have no idea.
In fact, I have a birthday on Wednesday.
Ooh.
56.
Oh my gosh, you look
We're celebrating today. We are celebrating.
Yes.
So that's another great thing, is you can do this
Forever.
and you can evolve, and I still work behind my chair. Skin is what I do. That's what I love. You know, no shade to anybody that likes to inject to volumize a face all day. My nurse friends out there. And you guys all need to come to the show, by the way. You nurses, get to the show. It's great because I get them all the time. I need to know more about skin. I need to know more about skin. They don't learn that. There's no avenue for that at our shows, rather than a product, a company, an exhibitor, a vendor, outside of just breaking it down. What is it about? And that's what an esthetician really learns in school. Even though we say, oh, we don't learn anything in school, we really do. We really do. And So come out to the show, registered nurses.
What I think is cool because so last week I did a podcast with Sachet Skin Therapy, and I've been starting to do more podcasts with brands and like the formulators of these products, and they like professional skincare is really better than consumer skincare because they are really trying to be the first
Yep.
at like innovating the best products, and they're really like at the forefront of innovation. And
They're better than TikTok?
10 times better than TikTok.
Better than TikTok.
Yes. So it's kind of
Oh my goodness.
so like if
TikTok
you're
does not have all of your answers, okay? Get off of the freaking app.
Wow, I learned everything from TikTok.
but it's
No.
it's crazy because like these are the people that I feel like estheticians and nurse practitioners need to be like connected to.
Yes.
And I think that you do such a good job at networking and staying connected. I mean, I would say like out of like a lot of, I mean, I don't know if I should say this, but like a lot of the speakers that we have, like you're the one that's always on top of like everything. When I email you, like you're very like eager to connect, to do a podcast together, to be on your podcast, you know? So like what advice could you give to estheticians to be more of like a go-getter and to network better and yeah, to be more like you?
It's a really good question, actually, I think. Like,
You have to be
it's like you have
hungry.
to be ambitious, yeah.
You have to be hungry. You have to have that, I don't know everything attitude.
So like humble.
Humble. You have to know that you can't do it all alone.
That's so important.
You can't isolate yourself and put yourself on an island by yourself. It's the first way to really get out of the business. You have to constantly nurture other relationships and help other people. You know, we're estheticians or nurturers to begin with, and we need to practice what we preach inside our room and outside of our room. So if we say we're going to be somewhere, we say we're going to make an appointment with somebody, we're there early, we show up, 100%. Don't be late and walk in while your client's sitting waiting in the lobby.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
It drives me crazy. Respond to an email. Take this serious. This is a serious
This is a
business.
serious-
I always kind of believe like if you are like flaky or wishy-washy, or you're the type of person that doesn't show up to appointments or cancels and stuff like and cancels a lot, you will probably get clients who are like the same way as you because you kind of attract what you are.
do.
So like if you guys, this is just like a side note, but like if you have any issues with like people canceling on you or like not showing up to their appointments, like how are you showing up in your
Yeah.
life? Because it's usually like a reflection of you. And that's something that I kind of
That was great
struggles with
advice.
before. Yeah, that I like kind of would like wake up and based on how I was feeling in a day, like sometimes I wouldn't show up, you know? And that's something that I had to change in order to kind of get that reflected back to me in the way that I wanted.
That is such good advice because I'm doing that right now with myself because I've made, gosh, how many years now I've been in business, but I constantly have to be relevant. And with relevancy comes a different season. And sometimes it's pain and loss of losing other things, like other relationships. It happened to me when I first became a nurse, and I transitioned from that complete only skin, facial, into more the medical side. I changed, and I started to see I lost some patients. We had outgrown each other. What they wanted and what I was able to give them,
Didn't coincide.
it didn't coincide. And I had to do some reflection and go, I could either let this happen and move on and grow and take on new types of clients. You still keep your base.
Your small
but,
circle.
But it was it's a painful loss to lose somebody you've had for 15 years because they have to go through the front desk now. They have to make an appointment a different way online that they don't like because they have access to you. But you have to look inside and know that you're responsible for half of that, half of that loss, and figure out how you can maintain and keep the people you care about moving and growing with you. You really do, because whenever there's a mistake in my business, I have to go and say, what did I do?
Yeah.
So I love that advice that you gave.
Yeah, like
Sam,
taking
what am I doing?
responsibility for like how you're showing up and your behaviors and your mindset and everything.
You have a trauma in your life or you go through something, it shows in your work.
Absolutely.
It shows in your work, right?
Absolutely.
Emotionally.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's okay to share that, and it's okay to have those times. But we have to stay focused on our business as well, and bring
And
that
drive.
all, yes, and drive.
Can you talk a little bit about like, just a little bit about like the transition of like you becoming a nurse? Because I would imagine like you've had so many years of experience, and after having so many years of experience, you do become more confident, right? In like who you are and your work. But like then stepping into a new role, you're stepping into like a new world also. Was there any like some sort of like imposter syndrome that you felt like transitioning, or were you kind of like, hey, I actually like I have the skincare, now I know, now I'm a nurse, like did you feel
Right.
more confident, or did you kind of feel a little bit like you were like a beginner again, is what I'm asking.
Yes, I felt like I had more value to my client who now became my patient. And so holistically, I had so much more to bring to their wellness because I knew more. I had more,
Yeah.
I had learned assessment tools. I had learned
You have
patho-
access to more too.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So for me, where I was always trying to like diagnose a patient, I had no business doing it, right? I'm like, oh gosh, I mean, what has this been going on? You know, and I'm like, gosh, you know, they started calling me Dr. Jerri, and that walks a fine line. So I am not Dr. Jerri yet, but soon. So for me, where I felt the weakest, the lowest, was when I actually moved into some injectables. That's where I felt the most vulnerable because that was really new to me. And I felt kind of insecure about that move because so many people had been doing it for, you know, my colleagues had been doing it so well for so long. And, but, you know, you fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
And then pretty soon you have the confidence and you just keep plugging along. But nursing really, really, I love it. If I wasn't an esthetician and that didn't walk into my life, because it literally walked into my life, and I didn't have the bad skin and I didn't have all that walked me into that journey, I would probably be a nurse.
A nurse.
Yeah, I'd probably work in the ICU.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's probably what I do. But I love what I do. I'm an ICU skincare person.
I'm glad. Obviously, that's well. Going back to just the conference that you're going to be teaching, can you just talk a little bit about like the pinpoints that you're going to be targeting during your talk?
Yeah. First, we're going to get everybody excited, and they're in there, and I want to talk about the different methods, the transition, the options, what that looks like. And everybody is a different scope, though, in every state. So this will be, I will formulate the scope, like we go to Philly, what estheticians get to do in Philly. That will kind of talk about if they really need that transition to become a nurse. And do you need to just go to become an RN? What does that look like? What's the difference between RN and your scope? And then your bachelor's, and then your master's, and do you need that? And what does that look like? And how much does it cost? And what is the real time away from your business and your family? Because if you are a working esthetician, it's going to hurt.
Of course.
Yes.
It's going to hurt. It's going to be painful, and you will lose a portion of your business because you're not focused on it.
Yeah. No, you got to sit back and study and all
Yes.
this stuff.
So you sacrifice your family. If you have children, and financially, is it worth it?
But then in the long run,
In the long run.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like, is it worth it?
Yes.
It all comes down to that.
it's like
Is it worth
temporary
it?
sacrifice for like a long term.
For a long-term.
gain, yeah.
But then, exactly, and we'll talk about you're still not independent.
Yeah.
So you have all this independence as an esthetician, and you don't as a nurse. So my nurses out there, now it depends on what state you're in, But you do not have independence in California to touch somebody's face. You must have an order from a physician. You must work for a doctor. You can't just go open up your own skin.
It's different in
like
every
here
state.
in Florida, like my mom's a nurse practitioner, but she has to wait 2 years before she either has to work under a medical director or she waits 2 years and then finally she can like start to work for herself. Yeah.
Have full authority.
Full authority,
practice
basically.
authority,
Yeah.
That's kind of how it is in 3,600 hours, I believe, under, it takes a couple of years under a provider, which is a whole nother journey before you have full practice authority, which I'm actually right now in school. I'm working on policy to try to.
And how has it been being in school? And like, I mean, you have such a successful med school and you're in school. That's insane to me. So like, how is it balancing everything?
Your family.
Oh.
Your family. My husband is a rock star. He has sacrificed. He retired, or I call it retired, but he stayed home with our son. I was in my first. Was that my first? I think it was my LVN program, because I LVN RN. I did the whole thing. He stayed home with our 6-month-old. He quit
Wow.
corporate America, honey. Thank you. Shout out. Where's the shout out to my lovely
Looking
husband.
at all the cameras. 1, 2, 3.
He sacrificed, and he was a stay-at-home dad. He was a great dad. He's a great husband. He's my biggest fan. I got it. He says, I got it on this end.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine?
I love that.
I got it. We can do this. And so I love that. We've raised a great son, so that's sacrifice. And then it's also the people you work around, your community. If it wasn't for the girls in my office right now, they have got my back. One of them's been with me 18 years, Renee.
Oh, wow.
She's had my back the whole time. You know, she's had eyes on the business when I can't have eyes. At least, you know, the people that walk in and come in, they always, right now, you guys are there. They're there right now. I'm here in Miami with you guys, having so much fun. They're there with the support. So that's why community is so valuable.
Yeah.
You have to be able to pick up the phone and ask a favor. Don't forget to ask favors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's hard when we have egos, but school is not easy, and you have to prioritize, and then you lose a little bit to gain a lot. Lose a little bit to gain a lot. You got to spend money on education, guys, whatever
for
way
sure.
it looks. You got to do it.
For sure.
That's
Going back,
my
our
advice.
education is free.
That's what's so great.
Yeah.
I've watched a few of the other podcasts, and oh my gosh, I took away so much value from them. I really did. I was like, wow. And then to see the excitement of these youngsters, I call them youngsters, in the business, and they're just ballers, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, and you guys get to come to the show and see these ballers.
Yeah.
Because they're really making it happen.
Yeah,
It's so
and
exciting.
ask like as many questions as possible, because I think what's cool about you guys are so open. Like, you're open books. You're willing to, like, I haven't seen one person that has like gate kept anything, you know, because it's like we all want to just like help each other. And so really ask questions.
Yeah, like I want to help you guys. What you guys have started is so cool, and I'm so excited because we didn't have any of this even a decade ago, not even 5 years ago. So to have this cool stuff, and this little one, I just learned you're just a marketing genius. Have you noticed how she keeps going, come out to the show, get your tickets, and before this date, she is your marketing guru.
We always laugh about it because I'm like working with this, you know, for this industry and all of that. I'm like, I'm going to end up being an esthetician. Like, I'm going to end up going to school, and I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to end up doing it.
And you're going to have to, because what I see for you is that you're going to be a complete marketing guru for estheticians in this field and be able to help them leverage their businesses. There's not a lot out there. And in order to do that, you're going to have to walk the path before they trust you.
Well, luckily, I think we've talked about this in one of the past podcasts. I've actually been born into it because my family owns salons. So I've been in the beauty industry my entire life. But they own more hair salons, so it's more in the hair industry. But, you know, it's a full salon.
You understand that business, though.
I understand it. I understand
It's the beauty
it.
industry.
It's the beauty industry.
And then working
It
here,
can be
you
a
know,
train wreck, or it can be amazing.
This is a French-based company too, and I'm French, so it all kind of like work. It just all worked in my favor.
I love it.
Yeah.
So when are you going to esthetician school?
So it's actually funny that we're talking about that because I've feel like by the end of this year, I don't know how it works like with like semesters of like when you can start. I don't think that this year is my year, but maybe next year. Yeah. I have a lot going on this year that I need to work on, and then we'll see where my life takes me next year.
That's great. Well, you're still in.
Yeah.
You're learning so much. You're going to have such an edge when you're in because you're going to already know where you want to focus.
Exactly.
Did you just went, right?
I just went. The reason why I went also too was from this job. Like
Yeah.
just
I love
if you're
it.
just
I
like
love
you're.
it. That's why it's so exciting.
It's honestly because like I wouldn't even say it's about writing about skincare because all I do is like write and edit and research about like skincare, but it's more so meeting estheticians. Like that's what truly inspired me to become an esthetician is learning about just the character that you build becoming an esthetician. A lot of estheticians are very creative. They're their own like entrepreneurs. Like it's very inspiring. And I was telling Anastasia because I had a client on Saturday that she's been listening to the podcast. And she came to see me and she's like, so I'm here for a facial, but I'm also here to like pick your brain because she wants to become an esthetician. She's not even, like she's listening to our podcast because she's thinking about going to esthetician school. And so like her sharing about like how she possibly wants to do brows and stuff inspired her. Like she's like, I'm literally gonna like, Anastasia saying that made me decide that I'm going to finally go. Yeah. And so I think it's just so cool, like how much of an open book you are and just how much you share your story because that is what, you never know who you're inspiring.
You never know.
You never know. I had also another girl that she's going to start working with me and she wants to become a nurse practitioner and she listened to your podcast and she loved it so much.
And
So
it just kind of helped either solidify maybe or also make you go, forget it. I'm not going to do that.
Exactly.
You know, that's just too much. So what is it? I think it still is about 600 hours. Am I right? To be an esthetician, is that nationwide?
Not in Florida. In Florida, it's like, it's less than 300, like almost 300 hours.
Oh, it's. but that's
It's easy here.
listen. Let's
So you
let's
have,
all
like,
be
no
real.
choice to get it
Let's
done.
all be real. 300 of those hours, you're not doing crap anyways.
No,
You ain't doing shit. You're sitting there waiting to get your hours so you can go take
Yeah.
your test.
Yeah,
Let's just be
exactly.
real. 300 hours is sufficient.
That's why she keeps telling me. She's like, just do it. It's not that big of a deal. Like, you sacrifice what? How many months was it? Like 4 or 5 months?
It was like 5 months.
Like 5 months. Sacrifice those 5 months, you know, get your license. And then within this industry and having all these, you know, connections that we thankfully and gratefully have, you know, you're able to go and take all these courses and then go off, you know.
Is there
to your
lots of
own.
scams in the schools now? I think there
There
for a while,
is. I
like
mean,
financial scams.
I mean, there's a lot of, like fraud. Like you can get your license. Like I don't even think some people pay for it and they don't even go to school. There's a lot
outside of
there's
that,
a
they don't.
lot of that happening. But what I was gonna say, because what were you just saying right now?
About,
Like for the schools.
yeah, the schools.
So if you go to school, what does that look like? What does the cost look like? Is it about 10,000, 20,000?
No, so my school was $5,000.
Okay.
And that's more on the expensive side.
Okay.
Here it starts like around like 3,500 and it can
Okay.
go up, but 5,000 is actually more on the expensive side here.
So in Florida, it's about 5,000
For esthetician,
For
like
esthetician.
for being a skincare specialist.
And do you have to be present for your hours? Do you have to clock in and be there?
Yes, I had
Okay.
to clock in, clock out. Oh, but what I was going to say is that like I made sure to make the most of my time because we were there kind of like not doing anything. Like our teacher
There's
was
no
just
guidance.
like she was watching Prison Break like on
Oh, my
Wow.
goodness.
like on her computer. So like I took it upon myself. Like I would buy little courses. I would sit there and I would share it with all the girls. So I could imagine too being in nursing school. You obviously are learning about like also being a nurse. So I think that you do need to like seek out those resources to stay inspired, like to stay on track with your goal of being
Yes.
an aesthetic nurse, right? Because there's
Yes.
not in a specific aesthetic nursing
Nope.
program. So it's easy for you because you were in the industry already. So this is, you live, breathe,
Yeah.
you know, sleep,
Yeah.
skincare.
It was my next likely transition, right?
So I would say, like, if you are going to take that route of becoming like a nurse practitioner, like try and somehow make your day job like related to skincare, or, you know, listen to the Beauty Outlaw podcast, like listen to our podcast, like make sure you are sticking to your goal in that way of finding resources that are related to the beauty industry.
Yes, and support, because we
support.
get a lot of our support from the phone now.
Yeah.
We're on it all the time, so hence the podcast.
Yeah.
When did you start your podcast?
I started it. We just had our 1-year anniversary.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah.
You know,
I got
they
sick
say-
of all the bullshit.
You know,
Yeah.
they say like most podcasts.
Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. yeah.
I say it, and I don't know if my guys edited me out or not.
No, you're good. You're good.
They say that most podcasts don't make it past a year. So that's actually a
Oh,
huge
What is it? It's like
achievement.
100 episodes that you have to get to.
Yeah, yeah.
To like make it,
Make it.
is what they say.
100 up.
And how like, sorry to cut you off. How did you like start on this podcast? Did you have an idea of doing something specific for the estheticians? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I in the aesthetic world and in California, it's the Wild West, and I think it is everywhere. The more I learned, I got on TikTok. I'm like, holy moly, and TikTok's a whole nother world. But it's kind of fun though. I know, I love it.
It's addictive. It's addictive.
I'm like, oh, Instagram only. No, TikTok. So being relevant, right?
I'm the opposite. I'm like, no TikTok, yes Instagram.
Gosh, okay, podcast. So every year, and just a little thing I can tell everybody to do, every year you look back at your year and you say, what did I accomplish? And an easy way to do that is every month write down something you accomplished. So you always have these positive things that happen in your life. You don't feel so overwhelmed. And every year I come up, New Year's Eve, I sit down and I jot down a big idea. And the big idea was podcast, possibly. So I decided, I went online and I bought this. It cost me $400. I bought a course. See, courses online. And how to start a podcast. And so I ordered my mic on Amazon.
We did
And-
too.
I ordered my first mic on Amazon, and I was going to be on my laptop because I have a pretty nice laptop that I do all my work on. So I thought, okay, I'll do that. And like, what do a boom? I need a boom. I didn't even know what this was called. I needed that. And then I got the stand. I just went through this whole thing, and I decided, okay, what am I going to talk about? And remember, I think I told you the name of one of the programs that you can do to upload your RSS feed. That's pretty cheap. It's like $30 a month. I bought that. And I looked in the camera and I said, here we go. And I hated it.
Oh no.
And my girlfriend, who's a photographer, said, well, why don't we film it and you have a guest and that'll make you a little bit more comfortable. Because I didn't want to just talk to people.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, they don't want to listen to me. They don't want to look at me that long. I get it. I don't want to look at me that long either. But so I got a guest, and they were my girls in my office. And I called it Esthetician Diaries.
Oh, that's so cute.
And so my girlfriend filmed it, and a friend edited it, and there we go. Well, that was it.
It became like a friend group
A
thing.
media team saw it
love.
through a friend, made an appointment with me, launched, and said, we can make this look really good, and da-da-da-da-da. So I went with their filming. They're 22-year-old guys that started this media firm. And they are, shout out to Kyler and Zill Media.
Were they the ones that were in Long Beach?
They were the ones that are in
Yeah,
Long
yeah,
Beach.
yeah. I met them
he
in Long Beach.
is
Amazing.
just, wow, entrepreneurship.
And where
is
did the
full of-
name The Beauty Outlaw come from? Because I'm obsessed with that name.
Are you?
Yes.
I love that
And
name.
I love the
Yeah, I
whole
really love
like
that.
country Wild West.
Yes.
Because I've been watching Yellowstone.
Oh
I'm like
my
on like a
God.
kick. Like I'm like about to get cowgirl boots and everything.
Okay.
We have a pair.
I know. I wore them the other day.
We need to get like 3 more colors.
The Beauty Outlaw name, I did not think of. Melissa. So if you watch our just recent podcast, Melissa is the most amazing waxer. She's like a Kelly Baker level, Anastasia, all those. She's amazing. Shout out to Melissa. this came out of COVID. So in California, we were hit pretty hard with
Oh, yeah.
COVID. Okay. Shame on California, by the way, for stopping so many estheticians' businesses. And they left the industry,
Yeah.
hairdressers, and shame on them. That's another reason why I started the Beauty Outlaw. And I came up with a way to give them that support in the office so that they'd have something, you know, a way they could still sell their products, a way they could be in the business in some fashion without just being gone, you know, disappearing for like 9 months. And it was kind of like we felt like we were a little bit, you know, as a medical person, I could reopen in May. So as a med spa, we could reopen in May with protocols. But estheticians didn't come back till December of the next year.
That's so rough.
Horrifying.
Long time.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
Okay, mad. So she used to say, we're the Beauty Outlaws. And I thought, oh, we loved it. Melissa always has a great catchphrase. And so it went on our door, Beauty
So
Outlaws.
cute.
Beauty Outlaws.
And then when I decided to do the podcast, I said, this has got to be the Beauty Outlaw. So that's it. And then I'm like, Western stuff. I love a good
Yeah.
hat and just
It goes with your vibe. I love it. It's amazing. That's what differentiates you two from like others, I would say.
that's fun then. That's good. So it's all working out.
Yes.
And we're branching out into, you know, everything aesthetic and beauty and the merging of I always say if you have a med spa, you need a good esthetician. Like, come on, man. Stop cutting corners. Get a good esthetician. Give her value. Pay her, for goodness sakes. Let her have a space. Give her a free space. That's my idea. Give her a free space. She will make beautiful things happen for you in your business.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel. Give her the education that she so valuably seeks in the medical side. And then learn from her, because she has a lot to teach your nurses and your staff. That's like my best advice for med spa people and nurses and people interested that are doing skincare or think they're doing skincare right now. You come to the show.
Yeah.
Come to the show. Come to the show.
Yes, come. So
Come to the
Philly,
show!
yeah, Philly's our first show of the year, and that's gonna be on May 4th and 5th. So go ahead and come down and see Jerri. She's gonna be teaching on both Sunday and on Monday. We'll go ahead and drop the times down below, and we'll also be advertising, of course, lots of topics from different conference speakers that we're also gonna have. And yeah, you can, you know, if you have any other specific
Marketing
information,
guru, we should ask everybody what they want to ask me.
Oh yes, of course.
So they
Yes.
could
Oh yeah,
send you
pre-questions.
pre-questions.
Yes.
Yes,
absolutely.
so drop in the
Yeah.
comments what you would want to know about transitioning into the medical aesthetics industry from Jerri, and then you can do like a little Q&A at the end
Especially
of
if
your
you're in
talk.
Philly, because Philly's coming up.
Yeah.
So if you're in Philly, DM these
Just
guys.
drop them down. Drop them down in the
Yeah.
comments below. And remember, there's no stupid questions. So it could be from anything.
Stupid questions are the
like
best questions.
low to high questions. Jerri will answer absolutely all of them.
And I'll do my research because I'm from California, so I will do a deep dive into Philly and find out what you need to do to transition to nursing, and I will do the same thing for Long Beach and for I'm
Fort
coming back
Lauderdale.
here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fort
Well, it's going to be in
Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale this year. So we do have a new location.
Okay.
It's not going to be at the Miami Beach Convention Center. It's not going to be at the
going to
Fort Lauderdale, Broward County Convention Center. So stay tuned for that.
Yes.
Super exciting.
Thank you so much for coming all the way from California to come see us.
I love
Yeah, guys, we hope that you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.